Honestly, this is the first group that I have been incredibly proud to be a part of because I don't feel like I'm not allowed to be here.
Yes, that is it. You feel like you belong and
Yes.
you're loved and you're accepted. And even if you mess up, it's okay.
PEP Radio is a part of the Pennsylvania Equality Project that plays music, news, and weather, actively advocating for the LGBTQ+ and disabled since 2024.
PEP Radio, available on Live 365, Roku, Alexa, and at paquality.com.
Here at Gay SA Radio, we're very happy to welcome the Othering podcast to our airwaves. Catch the show every Thursday at noon CAT, bringing fresh voices and compelling conversations straight to you.
Head over to gsaradio.stream to find out how you can tune in and become part of our family. Don't miss it, only on Gay SA Radio, where you are family.
Gay Hive Magazine, all about the buzz of content for our community. Our content is like no other. It's all about being real, honest, and raw.
We're always looking for new reoccurring content for the magazine and regular content writers for our website. Gay Hive is currently seeking sponsors. Email hushmagazine001@gmail.com for details.
Gay Hive Magazine, all the buzz.
One man and one woman join forces to rid the world
What are you doing?
of inequality and fascism.
Seriously?
I'm trying I'm trying to do a promo here.
For whom? What are you doing?
Welcome to the Othering Podcast with Mike and Dory.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thank you for joining us today.
Yes, thank you. I've been dying to talk to you. So
Really?
Yes.
I've been dying to talk to you guys. You're so fun. I remember
Thank
from
you.
the board meeting. You guys were just amazing. So I'm really honored that you asked me.
Thank you.
We're honored to have you.
Yes.
Reach out to me anytime. I love making friends. You guys are amazing.
All right, today we are talking to Syanne Bloom. Syanne is a disability justice activist and political commentator whose work examines how public policy, healthcare systems, and institutional decision-making impact disabled people. As a disabled Afro-Indigenous Latina and wheelchair user, her analysis is grounded in lived experience and a deep understanding of systemic inequities. She holds a degree in history, bringing a critical systems-level perspective to her work spanning over a decade in political advocacy, nonprofit leadership, and digital media. Bloom has built a platform that reaches more than 75,000 people across her social circles, where she translates complex political issues into accessible, widely engaging public discourse. Welcome, Syanne.
Yes, welcome. Thank you so much for
Oh my-
being here.
My goodness, thank you for having me. And thank you for that wonderful intro.
Yes. It was awesome.
I can't imagine where we got that from.
I know, right? Couldn't be me.
No, never.
But
We
it's,
just pluck it out of the air and it's just
I know,
awesome.
Right?
but it's so true. I was just kind of researching you, not to be creepy or anything, but you
No,
kind
I
of
do that all the time.
you have such an amazing background, and sad when I really read into it, but a lot of the advocacy work you've done has been amazing, and I've
Yes.
seen you advertising on social media, the places you're speaking, including today, and yeah, it's really amazing what you do, and thank you.
Yes, thank you
you're
so
too
much.
sweet. Thank you so much for giving people like me a platform.
Anytime.
Truly.
Of course.
It's important because, like, for the longest time, I wanted to be able to help people, and I thought it was in medicine because so many people, even when I was little, would always talk about it, how doctors don't listen, nurses don't listen. And myself, I have asthma, and as a child, I would have asthma attacks, and doctors would be like, "Oh, you just need to calm down your breathing and you'll be fine." And they refused to give me an inhaler for many years.
Whoa, that's really bad.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm still here, but I kind of figured out how to train myself when I was having an attack to figure out how to breathe so that I wasn't going to drop dead. And it was a lot of fighting that my parents had to do in order to get me what I needed. And I wanted to be that type of doctor that was able to listen and be the one to say, okay, you need this. Let's figure out how we can get you this. Or, is there a different thing that we could use to help you get this? That's the kind of person that I wanted to be. So that, I wasn't overly busy, but at least one of the few doctors that were in it because of helping people, not because, oh, you can be a millionaire or something silly like that. Mm-hmm. And I decided to go this route because I had talked myself out of being in medicine because I panicked, dissecting the damn worm in high school. And I felt like I'm killing the worm. I'm not going to be able to do anything for people.
Help, that's so relatable.
And
I dissect a frog in high school. So.
Yeah, I did the frog too, and I couldn't do it. And I was just like, I was so upset because I couldn't dissect a damn worm or a frog, thinking I'm never going to be able to do this for people, not realizing that people are a lot bigger than frogs and worms, for one thing. And
that's right.
But you feel a lot worse when you kill a person.
well, I wanted to do, I was like debating whether or not.
I don't feel very bad when I kill a worm.
Yeah, I mean, the worm was already dead anyway. But then we got to this, and long story short, but we want to give everyone that ability to share who they are, because the more we share who we are and the more that we connect, the harder it is for everyone to then come at us and say, you don't deserve to be here. And who has that right anyway? And we're indigenous. We were rightfully here before everyone else. So
Period. Like, I didn't ask to freaking be a part. Like, no offense. Like, I love where I'm from. Like, the United States is a mess. I didn't ask for it.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
brought into this situation like every black and brown person was.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And, if you don't like the fact that we're black and brown, then, you can kiss my pucker.
Yeah, kiss my brown pucker.
Yes. And not that I really want their lips anywhere near me, but still, it's I had to do something. And giving you guys the ability to share who you are is so, so important. And just, I get to meet friends. I feel like I'm meeting, great friends that I didn't grow up with.
Exactly, yeah. That's why I got so excited about, interviewing with you two, because I wasn't diagnosed with autism until I was 30. And like meeting other people who are disabled, obviously I use a wheelchair now and all this stuff, is life-changing. I honestly love the disabled community so much. Like, there's nothing like it. I have been disabled my whole life, but didn't know it, so I was treated differently, right? I was very visibly invisible, like my disabilities were invisible. Mm-hmm. So once I started using a wheelchair, the way people treated me was extremely different. Mm-hmm. Like, I was treated like shit, okay? Yeah. Like, the difference between someone, like how someone treated me when I'm standing versus sitting is like, why? But anyway, I never felt more supported than by the disabled community.
Yes.
And they changed my life. And I'm so proud to be a part of this community, because I don't think there's people more amazing than disabled people.
I completely agree. I don't want to say it this way. I know everyone hates it, but I'm not as disabled as everybody else in many ways. But I agree, the disability community is the best people in the world.
Hey,
and
disability is
LGBTQ.
diverse.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And some of us need more tools, more help, and some of us only need maybe a piece of gum type of level of help.
Literally.
And that's okay, because we're all disabled and we're all really awesome people. I mean, yeah, of course we have our outliers. Who doesn't? But honestly, this is the first group that I have been incredibly proud to be a part of, because I don't feel like I'm not allowed to be here.
Yes, that is it. You feel like you belong, and
Yes.
you're loved, and you're accepted, and even if you mess up, it's okay. Like,
Yes.
because I've never met a more forgiving group of people either.
Neither have I.
Agreed.
Because, I mean, I've been, and I hate to say it this way, but this is just my experience. When I've been around other Black people, I always felt still like I didn't belong, because a lot of them would make fun of the fact that my hair grew, like I had abilities to change that. There was one girl who hated me because of that. Yeah, I don't understand, but whatever.
Okay.
And, you know, some of them would act like I was full of myself because I'm lighter skinned than some of them. And I can't control that.
Right.
And then, you know, with white people, it was like, you're too brown.
Yes.
Yeah. And so it's like, I never fit in with any of my heritage. And it was rare that I ever met anyone Indigenous, because they were able to, you know, just hide out and stay away from all the bullshit a lot of times. And so I never knew where I could fit until I met you people, because you guys are like the best and the sweetest and most caring people I have ever met. And I finally felt like it doesn't matter how light or dark I am. It doesn't matter if my hair grows or doesn't. I'm here, and everybody is like, welcome.
You know, I can relate to that so much because I'm Afro-Indigenous Puerto Rican. And I mean, Puerto Ricans, luckily, I always fit in with them because we're a mix, right? We got
Oh,
Black
yeah.
Puerto Ricans, we got brown Puerto Ricans, we got mixed Puerto Ricans. But when I moved to the US mainland, it was like, you're not Black enough. You're not brown enough. You're definitely not white enough.
Yep.
And so it was like, okay, so what do I call myself? How do I connect with, you know, my community? Like, I feel like I don't belong. And it was really hard. I don't know. It was, like you said, you feel invisible. You feel pushed out.
Yep.
And I became disabled, and I didn't expect that this community would literally change my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel so much like you, and finally finding a place where we actually feel where we belong.
Yeah. And
So when you go to the events to speak and your advocacy and stuff, do you find you have troubles being the one speaking in the wheelchair and being of multiple races and looking different, so to speak?
Yeah, honestly, a lot of times I do feel like odd. It's a lot easier when there's another disabled person there too.
I bet.
I get so excited if there's a disabled person. They're, hello, my people, and then I feel
Yes.
safer. But I always feel when I'm in a room of non-disabled people like an alien,
Yes.
for lack of a better word.
Yep.
There's people looking at you like, you know, like, why are you here? Are you part of this? And if you are, they don't even realize it sometimes. Like, they're like, they don't see us as being successful or
yes.
right, outspoken. And I've seen it even from politicians, you know, when I go to events that they're speaking at, they've acted like they don't see me, but they're talking to everybody else around me. And it's really, it's really disheartening, but that's also why I'm doing it, right? Like, I
Right.
want them to get used to the fact that there are people like me, like we
Yes.
are kind of loud mouths, like we have opinions, we like to dress cute, like,
Yes.
and we belong, and I don't have to change. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
So that's the whole point in me being there. So while I feel like that, I try to think like, you know what, maybe I can make them see us as more of a person. And I always try to get more disabled people in the room, right? Like, I'm always like, hey, you should invite this person, you should invite this person. That way I'm not the only one. And now look, we got the No Kings virtual rally where a ton of the speakers are disabled. And,
Good.
you know,
Because we need that. You know, they tried so hard when we were growing up. I remember one person being visibly disabled. Everyone else had learning disabilities or things like that. And during that time, they weren't seen as disabled because they could walk. It was,
Right.
you know, TV and movies indicated that if you can walk, if you can run, of course you're not disabled. And so I didn't understand that there were so many different layers and levels to it. It was either you're in a wheelchair, so obviously you're disabled, or you walk funny or you talk funny kind of thing, obviously you're disabled. But if you're quote unquote perfectly fine, and then you can't possibly be. And I think that is a huge disservice that we do to our children, because we need to see diversity, not just in skin tone, but in everything. Because as embarrassing as this is, growing up around a lot of white people, I thought that black people were only very dark skinned because that's all you saw on TV. I knew that that wasn't the case, but at the same time, when that's all you see, you don't realize that everybody, every race that is a social construct, has different shades.
You don't know ignorance. You never met me, did
by
you?
the way. This is so relatable because I grew up in the islands where everyone was black and brown. And then I moved to the Malibu area of California where everybody was white.
Yes.
And I had only seen white people like on TV, really. And so I remember that experience, so I relate to that.
And it's
When I got with Dory, I mean, I'll be honest, and this is embarrassing too, that pretty much anyone with dark skin to me was black. That was it. There wasn't any in between.
Yeah, there's no nuance because we aren't shown.
Right.
No.
Exactly.
They try to hide out diverse people. I mean, I think it's getting maybe a little bit better because we're forcing our way in. I don't know. Maybe that's being hopeful, but yeah, I was the same way where I was like, wow, white people come in different shades too.
yes.
Yep.
And that's all because everybody that I was around that was white was like one shade. And so I didn't realize that there were different shades of them. I didn't realize there were different shades of black people, of Asians, Hispanics, and all of that stuff. And it's awful to admit that I was that ignorant to the different color schemes that we can do. And that dark skin can produce super light, and super light can produce dark. And it's beautiful though. I just wish that we could show that more in our toys, in our commercials and all that stuff, so that more people understand that just because you're brown doesn't necessarily mean you're automatically black. Not that there's anything wrong with it, because there isn't. And we need to show that there is not a damn thing wrong with being black or Asian or Hispanic.
Or mixed.
Or mixed. And I think, a lot of times get the brunt of, well, you're not black enough, but you're not white enough, but you're not brown enough.
And mixed are always the most beautiful.
Of course.
Thank you.
My wife, my kids, you, everyone, all the mixed people are always the most beautiful.
It's because we get, we pick the good traits and such. And put them together.
It's the beauty of everybody's cultures.
Yep.
Yes.
It's like, I feel like that's the way the world is supposed to be. We're supposed to be together like that, not just white with white and brown with brown. Like my husband's white, he's a redhead.
Ooh.
So
that's awesome. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I'm like addicted to red hair, so I love
me too.
I love it with a passion. Like, I cannot, if that was an
She's
addiction,
obsessed.
that is my
She is
addiction.
literally obsessed with
I am
redheads.
obsessed with it because it is such a beautiful color of hair. And like, I don't see how you couldn't fall in love with red hair. I mean, it's absolutely breathtaking. And
It's like rare.
yeah.
Like they're unicorns. Like I'm just like, wow, you people are beautiful.
yes. And how do you not find that beautiful? Because like you said, they're rare. And so you're used to brunettes, you're used to blondes, because everybody tries to dye their hair blonde. And so, yeah. And it's just like, show me something different.
We need more redheads too.
Yes, we do.
More redhead representation.
Yes. My grandfather was a redhead, and I was so upset.
So was mine.
And I was so upset that I didn't come out with red hair. And then it's like, we both have grandparents that are redheads, and our children ended up blonde and brunette. It's just like, what the hell? Where's the
Oh my
bread?
gosh, you got everything but the red.
Yes.
Yep. So if you don't mind, I want to start at the beginning and hear your story. I was reading an article that you wrote, and I don't know how much of that you want to put out there, but I know you started with a lot of mental health struggles. Do you want to talk
did.
about some of that?
Oh, absolutely. So what's really interesting about that story is a lot of my mental health struggles were related to my undiagnosed autism. at that time when I was doing a lot of mental health activism, I looked physically okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to the doctor a lot. I was having seizures, I was vomiting, and the one thing they kept saying is you're mentally ill. You have anxiety. You have borderline personality disorder because you cut yourself, because I used to self-harm. Really, everything they would just be like, it's because your stomach hurts because you're anxious. You're throwing up because, and and it ended up being none of that. It
Of
ended up
course.
being none of that. I don't have borderline personality disorder. I'm autistic, and that's a common, misdiagnosis. It's one of the most common misdiagnoses is bipolar or borderline when someone is actually autistic. And if you look at research, they tend to do that more, of course, to women,
No,
Of
yeah.
but
course.
Black and brown women especially get those labels. So I did a lot of mental health activism, and I still think it's important because autism correlates with a lot of mental health conditions. Like I do have depression. Then I take Prozac, and I love my Prozac. I really
Yep.
do. I've been I was in and out of mental hospitals when I was a kid. I dealt with a lot of physical symptoms, and of course, that affected me mentally. I wasn't feeling well, and none of that was being addressed. Um, and so I attempted suicide when I was 16. Um, and that was a really hard time. I was struggling with anorexia, things that, co-occur with autism.
Right.
And it was the early 2000s. Like autism was still seen as a boy's
Mm-hmm.
condition, a white boy, little boy's condition. If you look back at when I was young, to me it was obvious that I was autistic. I When I moved from the Virgin Islands to California, um, I remember in like a year after they gave me a speech pathologist because apparently I had issues with my speech. And I was started struggling in school a lot. And I think some of it had to do with bullying, but some of it is because school was getting harder
Yeah.
and I have dyscalculia. And so me and math were not vibing. And so they would pull me out of class to have special like attention, and they did that for like writing too, because apparently I had issues writing in cursive. They used to make us
Yeah.
learn
I
cursive.
do.
Oh my God, I failed all the time. But with the cursive I'd fail and the math, yeah. So my grades were slipping, and I remember that they wanted to put me in special ed, but at the time my parents didn't think I needed it. And sometimes I wonder if I had been put in there, could they have evaluated me? Would they have diagnosed me? I think I was about 9 years old when they were like, you might want to consider, maybe we should move her to special education or whatever. They said no because they didn't know. It's not their fault. They didn't
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
think anything. We grew up in a place where we don't have that awareness or education in a time where that education and awareness was very, hard to find. So I don't blame them at all. I'm very close to my parents. They did the best they could.
Yes.
Um,
If it makes you
but
feel any better, I was put in remedial, is what they called it, which is probably the same thing, and
yeah,
it didn't help at all.
it didn't
It
help me
was like
either.
being with the druggies and the delinquents instead of being with
Yeah.
people that actually needed extra help.
Well, for me, they would pull me out and there would be one or two other people and they'd put me in another classroom and it would feel like, why am I being singled out?
Yeah.
Obviously, that was a disability thing they
Right.
were doing. Even though I didn't have a diagnosis of anything back then, they were still treating me like I had a disability by pulling me out with the other kids who had known disabilities and putting us in, a small group and spending more time teaching us.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I feel like it was so obvious in hindsight that I was autistic. I struggled so much socially, especially the older I got, because, social rules get more complicated
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
as
Very.
you get older. And that's when, like, a lot of my mental health struggles got worse because I really struggled to fit in. I was bullied a lot.
Mm-hmm. Me
And
too.
yeah. But then in adulthood, I was still having mental health issues because my health was getting worse.
Hmm.
And I felt like no one was listening to me. So I literally felt like I was going crazy. Like
Yeah.
I was so anxious. And then in 2019, the thing that finally made them realize that I am not mentally ill and that I am disabled and sick was that I almost died from complications from endometriosis surgery, which is extremely rare. It shouldn't happen, but they didn't listen to me. And there was a pool of, I was internally bleeding, and there was a pool of blood that had sat in there.
Oh,
And so by the time they got it, I had gone to the ER and they sent me home and, nothing's wrong with you. And then by the time they got in there, it was sitting in there so long, I ended up developing an abscess after the surgery, about the size of a grapefruit. Um, and they tried 4 different antibiotics and they didn't work. And it was very scary because I realized if they didn't find something that worked, I was going to die. And they finally got one, and it was a black box label. So I think it harmed me a little bit, but they had to use it because they had to save my life. And in hindsight, I think also the reason that those antibiotics didn't work is because I have immune issues that were not diagnosed at the time. But long story short, as after that hospitalization, I started declining very rapidly. And they were like, "Oh, well, you have autonomic ganglionopathy. Oh, I went to see a geneticist. Oh, crap, you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I saw a neurodevelopmental psychologist. Oh, crap, you have autism and ADHD. And then I was diagnosed with osteoporosis when I was 16, and they blamed it on my eating disorder, which I, of course, believed. I didn't know. It's likely related to my Ehlers-Danlos syndrome because 16 years old is very young.
It is very young. And
I did not have an eating disorder long enough to get osteoporosis or osteopenia at that age.
My understanding was that you have to be so utterly thin and basically be on TPN and all of those types of feedings before you actually could harm yourself enough to end up with osteoporosis or anything like that.
Yeah, and at 16, I would have had to do it like a long time, and I had only done it for a few years. So I actually don't think that had anything to do with it, but it was easier for them to blame things on my mental health than it is to investigate it.
Right.
And my experience in those mental health hospitals was horrible. I learned a lot being in there. I was 16 years old. I was strip searched. I was treated like a criminal in these mental health hospitals. They had stuff in the windows so you couldn't see outside. They had prison type locks. I couldn't go outside for 2 months. They wouldn't let me shower if I didn't gain weight, even though I was eating. I mean, it was literally abuse.
Yes.
And that hospital, it's Shepherd Pratt. They have gotten in trouble before. I'm not afraid to say it.
They need to be.
Shepherd Pratt is horrible. It harms disabled people. I know other disabled people with mental health issues who were there that they abused.
That's
Where it was caught on camera. And it's just, that's a disability justice issue. Mental health is a disability justice issue.
yeah.
That just angers me beyond belief because the fact that you don't want to do your job and take care of people who are coming to you for help is just astronomically angering. It just doesn't make sense to me. If you don't want to do the job, find something else, please.
I agree because they're harming children.
Yes.
Literally, I was 16 years old and they were holding me down because I didn't want to get my blood drawn because they already did it enough. And my arms were black and blue. They were doing it every day for a month. And I had EDS, so my veins were collapsing and we didn't know. So that was a really bad time.
And I think they've only gotten marginally better, not much. I don't think they've improved much.
No, because I went back to a mental hospital in my early 20s and it was only partial hospitalization. But while I was there, someone ended up unaliving themselves while I was there. And I'm like, how is someone unaliving themselves in a mental hospital who is high risk for suicide? There's just no excuse for that.
No, there isn't.
Right.
And so, I learned a lot in those environments, and it made me realize, even though I'm not treated like I'm mentally ill anymore, I think about the fact that I was, and that people who are mentally ill, actually mentally ill, are being treated that way.
Yeah.
And I hate to say, I'm grateful for the experience because I wouldn't have known. it happened. There's nothing
Mm-hmm.
left except for me to be grateful or resentful of it.
Right.
And I went through the stages of trauma and resentment, but I'm grateful for it because now people can learn from my story, and doctors can learn not to ignore children and
Yes.
assume everything's a fucking mental illness. Not that there's anything wrong with having a mental illness, but it's dangerous if you're not looking into physical health. A lot of physical conditions also cause mental health issues. I have neurological condition where my immune system attacks my autonomic nervous system. Guess what? That's gonna make me a little anxious.
Yeah,
That's gonna make me a little cranky, you know?
exactly.
So I think definitely we are getting better at recognizing that correlation. And it's also why I think it's really important you brought that up, because a lot of people don't realize my story is not unique.
No, it's not.
I can't tell you how many women, if you look at the statistics, I've written articles about it, are misdiagnosed with a mental health condition when they have a physical health condition and they're sick. It's disturbing and disgusting
It is.
what
It
they
is.
do to us.
And it's maddening because yes, of course a lot of us are going to have mental health issues because our bodies are falling apart and
Come on now.
And nobody's listening to you.
and nobody's listening. So of course you're going to be upset. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be terrified of
I'm gonna
talking.
have a meltdown, bro.
Yes.
Hello. I'm in pain. You know what I'm saying?
When, like, for instance, mine is CRPS. I have chronic pain. There are days when it's not that bad and I can handle it and it's smooth sailing. And then there are days that it's really, really bad. And it took at least 5 years to finally be diagnosed with that instead of just, oh, well, you have anxiety and depression. And those 5 years, I could have been cured from it, so to speak, because it is so important with CRPS that you catch it early so that you can do PT and OT and all of that stuff so that it can, find a way to kind of work around it so that you don't have an issue and going forward. But because they take so damn long telling you to just walk it off or, oh, it's in your head and all of that bullshit, most of us end up with lifelong CRPS. And it's maddening. It's angering and it's frustrating. And it just makes me want to cry from so much anger of them not listening. It's not that hard to listen to people. And, yes, there are always going to be some people that fake it. I get that. But to assume that everybody is faking it until proven not is just as stupid and angering as assuming everyone's guilty before innocence.
Yep. And it's a small subset of people, so just saying like everybody's faking it's maddening. And even if someone's faking, like, hello, they might need help.
Right.
Like I think that those things are mental health issues.
They are.
And so we need to treat it as so because clearly there's a problem. But anyway, yeah, I agree. Like most of us, like, bro, I wish I was faking. Like I wish I could just, I wish I
No
didn't
kidding.
need palliative care. I wish I didn't have to have 5 surgeries in the last year. But you know what? How do you fake that? I mean,
Yeah.
it just sucks because then we get categorized and stigmatized because of that.
And I don't understand why. It's not like this is something that is enjoyable. And, it's not like anybody sitting there saying, I love going under the knife. I love having my body completely torn open and rearranged and still having pain from that issue because it's there. And then also having pain from a surgery. That doesn't make sense.
I agree completely. Yeah.
I mean, it's like there was a video of this. I think she was a home nurse or something like that. And she's saying, why I think my patients are faking it because they keep calling out. Yeah, that pissed me off so much. And it was just like, what the fuck are you even doing then? If you think that people who are terrified of being labeled as crazy, even if we are slightly crazy, you don't want to be labeled as such because then people don't take you seriously.
Yeah. And she's like perpetuating that it's
Yes.
okay to do that. I mean, what she's doing is abusive, I think, because I mean, you don't know if her patients are watching it, other patients are watching it. They are going to feel, I mean, I used to get home care in the beginning of my illness because I had a port, and like sometimes I would cancel because I was honestly anxious.
Yes.
And that was it because of my trauma. When I saw that shit, woo, girl. I was like, catch me outside. Just kidding. But no, really, I was like, someone needs to, she shouldn't even be in there.
Yeah.
I think when you think that way, it's dangerous
It
that you're
is.
taking care of people because that bias is going to come out in your care for the most vulnerable people. So she needs to go if she hasn't been fired yet.
She needs to
Agreed.
be. And as mean as it may sound to some people, and I don't really give a shit, because you're dealing with people's lives. You're dealing with children or adults who are harmed by the system, by every
Exactly.
system. And then to go and perpetuate that harm and then be shocked that people don't want to deal with you or that they are terrified of talking to you or thinking that they're going to be labeled nuts for no reason. Gee, I wonder why.
I know, right? It's so obvious. I feel like it's obvious. I don't
Yes.
understand why people don't get it.
Yeah.
It's like putting a bunch of black kids in a cage and then being shocked that black people are upset that kids are in a cage. And it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Open your damn eyes, open your ears, and just shut the fuck up and listen. Sorry,
Period.
I'm just like, oh, it just angers me because so many people get so hurt from this shit. I have watched my family members get shit over. And, people that I've become friends with get shit over. And it just angers me beyond belief. And it's like, I don't understand why you can't just have an ounce of empathy and just listen.
It's so easy. And it's funny that you said that because the founder of Stand Up for Science that's working with No Kings for this event, we were talking and about the disabled community, and I was telling her how excited they are about this event that we helped put together. And I was like, I'm so grateful. And she was like, but it was so easy. All we had to do was listen. Like, she was like, that's literally what she said. She was like, I don't understand why people say that disabled people are difficult when all you have to do is listen and then execute.
Yep.
That's all she did to make this happen was incorporate us in the planning and listen to us. And look, we've got a great event coming up.
Yes. And it's awesome. And I love Stand Up for Science because I love science, for one thing. and,
Same.
and it's like, it's a part of my DNA, literally, and figuratively. But I don't see how you could, use a computer, use a phone, use a television, and say, you know what, science isn't for me. Okay, go in the cave, please, and stay there. Don't talk. Just stay in a cave, and the rest of us will live our happy
Right.
lives. And because I honestly feel like it is that obvious. If you hate science, you can't trust a doctor of any sort. And, I'm going to bitch about nurses and doctors treating us like shit. But I'm
'Cause it's
still
fair. Yeah.
I'm still going to fight for them because we need them. They
Yeah,
need to
they're
listen to
not-
us and we need them too.
And they're not all bad.
No.
Obviously.
Right.
There's some bad apples and we just have to weed them out. But yeah, Stand Up for Science has been so amazing for the disabled community. And I know that they're looking to include even more people that are disabled in the future. Like, this is going to be a regular thing where disabled people are a part of it. So I hope people continue to learn from them. It's really wild because Hakeem Jeffries is speaking, Nancy Pelosi is speaking.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I just feel like, wow, you guys are listening now. Like, this is an event for disabled people and they're going to speak. Are you kidding me? Like, now they're listening. And so it feels like maybe we're making a little bit of progress and maybe we're going to be heard and seen.
And
But anyway.
there's also, they always say to find the silver lining. And that's how our communities have been able to survive 400 plus years of oppression and all of that stuff. And is finding joy in the little things, even if it's morbid and it sounds like totally off the rocker. Find that joy, but also just keep fighting. Keep standing up for yourself and for others and showing up. And the fact that they're doing this and that we've gotten Pelosi and Jeffries to actually listen to us and not just the people that are standing and invisible type of thing. But it's like awesome. And then, I hate to do this, but we can thank dumbass for the fact that across the world, far right is falling. It is starting to fall because of big, fatty dumbass.
Mm-hmm.
And
He messed it up for them.
Yes, he did. And I am so thrilled for that. That's the only thing that he has done good, is he's fucked it up for them, because they, rightfully so, aligned themselves with him. And it's backfiring. It is starting to backfire. And I love that for them. Because
How embarrassing.
It is. How embarrassing that a fucking moron who is so stupid and ignorant can ruin it for you. And it shows you that you need education. It's a great, thing for science. It's great for education. It's great for history. And it's like, yeah. Way to be.
He's looking like the clown he is, and all their ideas are going with him. So maybe there's a lot of hope. I'm seeing things change. I mean, I know people who were MAGA in real life. Some of those people are family, and they're no longer MAGA.
Good. I mean,
and that was because of everything he's been doing with ICE, with the war, and they're finally seeing. I mean, I'm obviously annoyed that I'm like, come on now, we could have avoided all of this harm, but we are here. They're seeing it now, and people are turning against him, and that's what I like to see.
Yeah.
My parents always said that sometimes you have to let people fall before they finally wake up.
Exactly.
And hopefully today, for the listener, it's March 28th at No King's Day. So hopefully today we really show them.
Yeah.
Oh, we will.
And we keep
I
the
got
momentum
some
going. It's not just the marching, you got to go beyond that. And if you can boycott the places you can boycott, it's not saying all of them, but
Right.
do what you can. And, instead of spending your dollars at Hobby Lobby or Amazon
Or Chick-fil-A.
or Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. Don't do that. Buy it somewhere else. And, and I am completely of the population that understands that not every disabled person can avoid Amazon or Walmart or Target.
Unfortunately, I can't. I use Amazon.
Yes.
We still do on occasion.
We do too. And I understand that. But what we can do is, instead of always buying everything from them, maybe buy a little bit what we need that they can offer, and then buy it somewhere else from a local mom and pop.
Exactly. That's easy to do, because some of those local mom and pops deliver.
Yeah.
Even where I live. Anyway, I'm not going to get off topic, but yes.
I'm going to get off topic real quick here for a second.
And who said you could? No, I'm kidding.
I'm going to speak for you, Dory.
Okay.
When Trump first came into office, it really kind of fucked her up. She got really angry, and rightfully so. I understand
Did
why.
you cry?
Don't get me wrong.
Did you cry?
I
cried too.
think
I
so.
cried.
Yeah.
I bawled my eyes out in 2 a.m.
So for her, it was finding this community that really helped her get through it. And I'm sure it affected you, as you just said. You were crying through it. Was there anything specific that really helped you get through it and feel better as you can? Because it's only gotten worse.
Yeah, I guess people
Yeah.
made me feel better. The disabled community made me feel better. Even right now, seeing people shift into realizing, hey, disability justice is important. It's like, oh, wow. There is a shift. So I was really sad, obviously, when he got into office the second time, right?
Yeah.
The first time in 2016, I also cried.
I did too.
And
Because
you
I
remember
saw it was falling. We were
Yeah.
falling. And
You remember people were like, why are you crying? Well, I hope you can see why we were crying. It's been
Yeah.
10 years later since Trumpism came into the world, and look at where we are now. And unfortunately, to get that out of, it's going to take a long time, probably past our lifetime, to get rid of that Trumpism ideology that is now ingrained into people and is being taught to their children. Yeah. Sorry, I got off topic. I
no,
think.
you didn't.
No, keep going.
It is, because I 100% believe exactly what you say. And yeah, it's probably going to take a long time to get that Trumpism crap out of their minds, out of their heads. But the more that we show children that we're all human, beyond the "don't we bleed red" and all that happy kumbaya stuff. We have to just keep showing up and giving TV shows and, reality shows an absolutely huge array of different people from different socioeconomic backgrounds, so that we all can learn from each other instead of just these stupid ass bachelorette crap and bachelor shit. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Who the hell wants to be humiliated on TV as the one that was discarded? And
Yeah, people who want to get famous quick.
no,
Yep.
I would love to be. I wanted to be famous as a kid, but not that way. I have dignity. I don't want to be, oh, you were the one that got out in the first round, weren't you? That's not the kind of fame I want. And I don't think
Yeah.
anybody should that has dignity. But anyway, I think it might take a while, but at the same time, I still have hope, because so many things that have happened that are bad have been counteracted with incredible good.
Yes.
And
Well said.
thank you. Every so often I could pull out a great quote from my ass, but and just this community gave my life back. And because I saw it as Obama was an anomaly, and because I had hoped that it was beyond him, that we were finally
Right.
getting over ourselves and pulling our heads out our asses like every other country has managed to find a way to do. And when Dumpty came in, it was just like, nope, I was right. People are just that crappy. And it hurt, because especially when the communities that you're born into don't fully accept you, and
Yeah.
then you see all of this hatred for you because you had the nerve to be born a certain look or gender or whatever.
Yep.
It's frustrating. It's saddening. And so finding you made me realize, oh my God, there really are good people out there. Not just Mr. Rogers, not just Miss Rachel. There are so
I love Miss Rachel.
I love her too. And, there's actually stars and little, quote unquote, little people that are just as compassionate and loving. And because sometimes you don't always get to see that. It's hard.
No, it's really hard when we're scrolling through our timelines to see that. I feel like it's a lot of division and fighting and death.
Yes, it is.
Yep. That's why I don't watch the news very often.
No, I can't.
Smart.
I've never watched the news.
I get my
I read
news,
it, but
yeah.
I cannot watch it because, for one
I'm
thing,
the same way. I read it.
I have to read it.
Wow, twins.
Yes. Ever since I could remember, I hated watching the news. I had to read it because you get better nuances with reading it than having somebody feed it to you. And finding out that I was neurodivergent, like 40 years later, but it helped me understand. So in a way, like, I get it, but at the same time, I don't.
Yeah.
And, I honestly think that a lot of it just stems from jealousy. In fact, I think all of it stems from jealousy and letting that jealousy fester. And because, we can go outside a lot of times and not come back as a lobster. We can curl our hair
I
and
can't.
yeah, you can't, but I can. Or that we
Me too.
have naturally curly hair and we didn't have to fry our hair off for it. And, or we have butts.
Yeah, we do.
And
Yeah, we do.
yeah, we don't need a bustle to give us an ass.
We got lips.
Yeah. And we can kiss you and it not feel like you're just kissing straws. And
Sorted.
but it's true. We can kiss you and you notice that it's not teeth. And it's more than just like these little tiny little pieces of straw kissing you. It's actual
Oh, I'm
lips.
sorry, Mike.
Whatever. I'm used to it.
That's me.
I live with her.
I'm a white guy. Like,
I live with her.
my husband went out, so he's not hearing it. It's okay. He would say the same thing, though. That's the thing. He would say the same thing that you just said.
Yep.
As a white guy, he would say that.
Yep.
Yes. Because, you know, the saying...
She's right.
It is right. Once you go black, you never go back. And, you know...
Once you go brown, you don't frown. I just say that.
Exactly. And, you know, just like raisin, Asian doesn't raisin, and black don't crack, and all of that stuff, there's a reason. As racist as those sayings are, it's a reason. Because we fucking rock.
Yes, we do.
And then when we're all mixed with everything, like, you know, my family is literally the United Nations, including, you know, the animal kingdom, because I think there's penguin, because we're so damn short, some of my family members.
That would be cute.
There has to be penguin in there. Oh yeah, I love
We love
penguins.
penguins.
And, you know, I have giraffe family members, and it's just, but it's a beautiful thing. And to think that you hate people so much that you don't want to see that beauty, it's like, it's got to be jealousy.
Absolutely. It has to be. And feeling intimidated, you know, because they've oppressed us for so long.
And yet we still keep rising to the top.
And we will continue to.
Right. Because you can only keep somebody down for so long before you have to stay down there with them.
And if you look at history, though,
yeah. Oh, I love
we
history.
always win.
Yeah, we do.
We always win. So there's that.
We can still kick your ass even in a wheelchair. We might run over it.
Because you guys know how to fight back, and you guys know how to stand up for yourself, because you always have to do it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how you survive.
So,
is fight
this ain't nothing
and
but
laugh.
another thing. This ain't nothing with Trump. Just another, you know, bump in the road that we gotta fight and get through.
Yeah. And
Two more years.
Like I said, we'll just run over them with our wheelchairs.
You know I will.
And
I have a power wheelchair that's like 400 pounds. I will.
oh, awesome. I'm sorry. All of a sudden in my head is like a bunch of like thousands of wheelchairs coming down the hallway. People.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I can see it now.
Yes. But we will come out on top. And man, we're getting close to the hour. And I hate that because I am loving talking to you. So we'll have to have you back.
Please do. We need to do a part 2.
Yes, definitely. Especially you could tell us like how it was
But we're
talking.
we're not done yet.
I know we're not done yet, but still.
In the background, I see your Miss America
Yes.
sashes, whatever they're called. What was that like going through that process?
So I went into pageants in my early 20s. I had never done pageants before. There they are. I also have my crowns. I don't know if you saw my crowns, but
Oh, wow.
my crown is right here. This is my Miss Maryland crown.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I won in 2015. I was Miss Maryland 2015 for the Miss World organization. I loved it. I know a lot of people talk bad about pageants, but there's so many neurodivergent girls in pageants, okay? And there's a reason for that, because the rules are clear. You're performing, which you're good at, and you get to talk about your special interests, right? Because we had a speech portion, and I got to talk about taking care of kids with life-threatening conditions. So it's great because it's like, for me, it felt like I got practice to how to deal with people in the real world. Because before pageants, I didn't talk like this. I didn't seem confident. I used to look down. I used to talk really quiet. You would be like, who the hell is that? That's not the same girl. No, pageants gave me confidence. I lost, obviously, a few times, but that's part of it. You have to learn how to lose, and you have to learn how to celebrate other people. I loved my pageant experience. I mean, of course, there were some things that weren't good, that were bad. You know, I was sexually assaulted at one point by a pageant coach. I've never said that publicly, and it wasn't taken care of, unfortunately. But anyway, aside from that, I made so many lifelong friends. And like I said, a lot of them are autistic and were diagnosed autistic now. So they're one of the few people that I have consistently kept in my life, because those girls are beautiful people.
Yes. Yes.
Like, truly. I know people make fun of them, but no, they're wonderful. They care so much about others.
Beautiful inside and out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. Listen, I met a mean girl once, okay? She was the stereotype.
Yep.
And she was from a southern state.
Oh, yeah.
A red state.
Yeah.
A red state, and she was a blonde white girl, so anyway. And
Yeah, I can picture her exactly. I know who exactly you're talking about.
And she did well. She went to Miss USA, and she did well at Miss USA, too. But anyway, she was the only one that was like that, so.
And it's good to say those things because so many times when you see the pageants and you see the girls having to compete against each other, it always, especially in like in movies and TV shows, it always seems like you're pitted against each other and not just this is like a sport where
Right.
you all have an ambition of wanting to be, the gold medalist or,
It is
something
exactly
like
a
that.
sport.
And you just have to do it individually as opposed to in one big group. And
Right.
I think that is a distinction that needs to be said because for so many times it is shown as just a bunch of catty women. And, you know,
It's true.
we can compete without competing.
Yeah, we loved each other. You know, when I won Miss Maryland, the girls that lost that were my friends were crying because they were so happy for me. And they wrote the longest letters for me, congratulating me. Like, that's how it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's people, like I said, but no, I feel just as loved there as I do in the disabled community.
And that's,
Because a lot of them are disabled.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an important thing because, like I said, media portrays it as everybody's a mean girl and, they're,
That's misogyny.
yeah, it is. And I admit that when I was younger, I thought that's how it was
Oh, of course, I did too.
because that's how it's portrayed is that, everybody's a mean girl and you, God forbid, if you rise to the top, you'll be, teared down.
Yeah.
And of course,
Luckily,
there are
that
some,
was luckily that was not my experience.
I'm glad.
very grateful for that. Yeah.
because it can be beautiful, because it can teach you how to stand up for yourself and others and be confident and look people in the eye. Because especially as, autistics, we have troubles looking people in the eye.
You know what I loved about it is when we would do interviews with the judges, they would give us feedback after the pageant. So they'd say things like, "Oh, sounded unsure. Oh, sounded." As an autistic person, that's data for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'd be like, "Okay, now I know what I need to do." Or they'd write like, "Oh, someone's saying too much," or and so I was able to take those notes. And I don't like saying that I was masking, but hello, I have to mask to survive, and I have that privilege because it is a privilege. And it gave me those skills. So it was a good experience.
Is that when you were able to do public speaking the way you do today? Were you
Yeah.
doing it before that at all?
I was. The first time I spoke publicly was in 2011 at a bullying event. And then I also spoke in 2011 at the House of Delegates in Maryland
Oh, wow.
about anti-bullying initiatives
Thank you.
and mental health and how bullying causes mental health issues and things like that. So
I-
yeah, I started in 2011. I think I was 19.
Well, you
And
rock.
Yeah.
Thank you. I started with the Bully Project, which is from the movie Bully, which should be on Netflix. And I got to go to DC with the director and a bunch of other people who made that film. And I got to meet some of the Kennedys and talk to them about bullying. So I mean,
Wow.
I've been really public speaking since 2011, but if you heard me speak in 2011 versus now, which gives me a content idea, I should do that as a content idea. You'd be like, what the hell? This girl's so different. But I grew, that's a long time that I've been doing this.
Yeah.
And
So, yeah.
And you're right about masking being a privilege because so many don't get a chance to hide that they're neurodivergent because they can't. And you know what? That's fine too. If that's,
Yes.
we shouldn't have to mask.
We
I hate the
shouldn't.
fact that we have to.
And
I hate it too. I want to be free.
Yeah.
and I could talk for hours about bullying and the effect it has on mental health.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I am the product of that.
You too?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need to chat about that for sure then,
Yeah.
because I think that's a topic that isn't talked about. Also, like
I
a
agree.
lot of disabled kids get bullied.
Yes.
So
I feel
Yes.
like
Disability
bullying is a
justice.
little bit better today than it was when we were in
It is.
school. But
it is better.
But now you have the problem of social media. So when you leave school and you're not with them, you're still getting bullied online. We didn't have
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, that's
and
the only
sometimes it's
beautiful thing
anonymous.
about
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, bullying fucked me up. I've always worried about what
too.
other people think constantly because of it. I've always been the quiet guy because of it, except for here.
That's what I was.
hmm
That's exactly how I was
I
for
can't.
years.
If I speak in public, I'm shaking like crazy. I can't do it.
Well, I like to say is like it's practice. I still get nervous, but it's a performance, and when I think of it as a performance, then everything I go back to the pageant mindset and I'm like, all right, these people want to be entertained, but let's
Yep.
teach them while they're being entertained. And so
Exactly.
that makes it easier for me, but it's practice.
And in my past life, I did paranormal stuff. We had a ghost
No
tour.
way!
Yeah.
I had a ghost
Stop
tour.
it,
I've
we need
written.
a chat.
I wrote 2 books with my brother on the paranormal of Cincinnati. And usually when we would go out and give presentations and stuff, my brother talked. He loved that shit. He likes being in control and all that. But there was one day he couldn't do it. And it was a presentation in front of like 90 old women, probably like 70, 80-year-old women, about the ghosts of Cincinnati. And because I felt like I knew it better than any of them, and I felt like I was the master of the subject, I was actually able to do it. So I think that's a big thing, is just feeling confident when you go up there and knowing that you know what you're talking about. And the
And
audience
even
doesn't.
even if you feel like you have to pretend, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretend. No one can tell that you feel stupid doing it.
Right.
Because I feel stupid doing it, but then when
I
you
do
look
too.
at what you did, you're like, oh damn! They can't tell I feel stupid doing it. I feel stupid, and but then you look at it, and that builds. I always watch my speeches, and that helps build confidence.
When I was a teacher, I would pretend, I'd have to pretend that, okay, I know this stuff, even though I do know it, but it was still like, I don't know it enough type of feeling. So I would
Yeah.
have to psych myself up. So I would sing certain songs before I'd go into the classroom. And then I would just put on this performance of, let me make this interesting for you. And it is such a performance that you have to do.
Yeah.
And after a while, it drains me.
It's very draining.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, now looking back, it's like, duh. But I didn't know I was neurodivergent at the time. And I didn't understand why that was felt like a performance, like I was tap dancing, for hours straight. But it does kind of give you a confidence of, well, if I can survive a bunch of people that are paying me to teach them this stuff, and they're like, yeah, this works, and all that stuff, and you're just like, wait a minute, I actually do know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it gives you
It gives you
confidence.
confidence.
When I had to talk in front of all my coworkers at work a couple of years ago, I was shaking like crazy, nervous as hell, because I didn't feel like I knew what I was talking about, and they all did. But anyway.
You got imposter syndrome.
Yes. And you know what? I think that we have to get over our imposter syndrome because look at who's running our country.
Literally what I say. I'm like, you guys feel bad about yourself? Look at this dude.
These are the
Sadly,
epitome.
he feels great about himself.
Yeah.
Oh my
some
God.
reason.
These people are the
Someone taught him
epitome
he's
of
okay.
pathetic, stupid
Literally.
assholes that have no.
He cheated his way
Redeeming.
through college.
Yeah.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
So, like,
Yeah.
He cheated his way through everything.
Yeah.
everything. His golfing, his everything.
He
His
didn't
family. He
make his
cheated on all
money.
his wives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He didn't make his money. He was given his money.
Yeah, he was.
Literally from his daddy. So
And I mean,
But-
how do you bankrupt a fucking piggy bank? I mean,
But-
how the hell do you do that?
We do
You have to be
actually
Donald
have to
Trump.
wrap it up now.
Yeah.
It is time to actually wrap it up
Okay,
now.
we
I'm
have
sorry.
to. You have to come
But-
back.
no, you're
Yes,
good.
we'll
I
meet at
will.
part two.
Anytime.
Thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to let people know, the few that don't already know, where they can find you?
Oh yeah, I'm on pretty much every social site. It's just at Syanne Bloom, SYANNEBLOOM on every social site. So follow me.
Yes.
Yes, follow her.
She's beautiful and funny and just wonderful and like inside and out. So she's the real deal. You got to
Thank you.
follow.
And she's fighting for all of us.
Yeah. So you have to follow her anyway for that. And I told you to.
Exactly.
Listen to Dorian.
There you go. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to the Othering Podcast by Mike and Dory. Please like and follow us on all of your favorite social media.
The Othering Podcast is produced by LoudCore Productions, graphics by Josh, and music by Jordy James.